Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Sergey and I'm the owner of NinaVova Custom Jewelry. We make custom engagement rings and the wedding bands. And today we're going to be talking about the Morganite and Morganite engagement rings. And we're going to cover what the Morganite exactly is, whether it's a good option or not for your engagement ring. Is it durable enough? I'm going to talk you through the different price point, and at the end I will show you the key to the perfect Morganite engagement ring. But before we get started, let's talk a little bit what it actually is the Morganite, where it's getting its pink color. In the previous video I've talked about the emerald and the aquamarine, and both of these stones are sister stones to the Morganite. And that's because all of the stones from the beryl family. So basically when you have the beryl with the manganese, you're gonna get the Morganite, you're gonna get this pink color. When you're gonna have the beryl with chromium, you're going to get the green emerald. And when you have the beryl with the iron, you're gonna have the blue aquamarine color. Why it's actually called the Morganite and not, let's say, the pink beryl or something like that? Well, this stone is native Californian stone, I want to say. It was discovered actually in California in 1909. And the expedition, when it was discovered, was organized and sponsored by the J.P. Morgan. And because of that, and also because of how much he did for the gemology overall, this stone was named after him, after the J.P. Morgan. This naming, actually, the Morganite and the aquamarine, give us an idea of the different price point of both of these stones. And here's why. The aquamarine was called aquamarine by Pliny the Eldest. He was the philosopher and the poet in ancient Rome in 2000 BC. So basically it was discovered 4,000 years ago, and it's simply called the aqua marine, which is ocean water basically. And the Morganite, as I mentioned, was discovered in 1909, so 4,000 years after. So aquamarine was around for quite a long time. It's very well known to the history. Lots of queens and kings wear it in their jewelry. It was used in crowns and everything. Pretty much every historic period was, in every historic period, the aquamarine was used quite a lot. In Rococo, you will see lots of aquamarine. In Art Deco era, in Art Nouveau era, you will see quite a lot of aquamarines. So basically aquamarine has the market on its own, when the Morganite doesn't have quite the following of that. And on the opposite side, the emerald is not only quite rare, it's also almost always not transparent. The real number, out of 1 million emeralds, only one is transparent and clear. And it's not my exaggeration, that's an exact number, where the Morganite and the aquamarine belong to the first category in terms of the transparency, and they are almost always transparent. I also briefly mentioned the availability. The Morganite can be found pretty much on each and every continent. It's widely available, and it's been available after it was discovered. Where the emerald, on the opposite side, only mined these days in Brazil, in a few places in Asia, in Afghanistan, which is not quite a good source because of the obvious reasons. And let's dive a little bit more towards the price points of the different Morganites. As I mentioned, they are almost always transparent. So the main difference in terms of the price would be the color. Let's start from the most affordable one. The most affordable one, and is the most available one, the most common one, is the peach color. And it would vary from light peach color, like the light orange, to the dark orange. It's usually called the peach color just because it sounds a little bit more fancy. But this one would be the most affordable one. Yeah, I know you like the numbers, so the very simple design of the engagement ring. Let's say the solitaire 14 karat gold engagement ring would cost about $1,200 with 3 karat peach morganite. Actually, over here you will meet lots of heat treated stones, and that's because most of the morganites in this category would have like a very light orange color, and in order to get the deeper color, the more brighter color, you will have to heat treat it. The more desirable morganite is the pink color, and the difference would be more visible in reality actually over here. The pink color morganite, depending how dark the pink color is, would cost you about 1900 to 2000, somewhere there. And actually, very important thing is that the color would also depend on the size of the stone. The more material you have, then darker the color, and opposite, then smaller it is, then lighter the color. That's a very important thing to keep in mind. Usually morganites is between like 3-4 carats, like 5 carats. More than 5 carats is just not very comfortable to wear. The most expensive morganites are very bright, very distinguished pink, and these guys usually go through the auctions. They're much more expensive than the pink one. The price difference would be actually similar to this one. So it's usually 2-3 times more than just the pink color, just the basic pink color, I would say. But this one, in my opinion, absolutely great color to choose. In terms of the durability of the morganite, it's absolutely the same throughout the barrels. On the Mach scale, it's about 7.5 to 8. Mach scales basically represent how hard your stone is. The diamond is 10, the most durable stone out there, and the sapphire is 9. But actually, a very important thing is that the Mach scale doesn't go very gradually. It's a little bit tricky. So here's your Mach scale, right? So your 10 is right over here, your 9 right over here, and your 8 is right over here. So the difference between 9 and 10 about 5 times more than between 9 and 8. But still, the morganite is plenty durable for the morganite is plenty durable for your engagement ring, so you can wear it on a daily basis without worrying about it too much. Also, morganite, it doesn't afraid of heat or ultraviolet. Let's say like kunzite, for example, that can change its color in a year or so because it's exposed too much to the sun. The morganite stays absolutely the same color no matter what you do, pretty much. So now when we went through everything, you probably want to know what is the key to choose the perfect morganite engagement ring, the perfect stone. And the key is the cut, actually. If you watch my video about how to choose the perfect diamond engagement ring, you know that the brilliance of the stone, how much the stone is sparked, depends on the quality of the cut. And that's where we should start with the diamond. And similar things apply to the morganite because the stone belongs to the first category of the transparency. What is the cut? Actually, in order to show you, I have to erase this art a little. So let's say here's your stone, the diamond, the morganite, doesn't matter. And if you have the perfect cut, all of the light that goes to the stones would reflect from the side of the stone and would go back through the table. This is the table of the stone, the top part of it. So in ideal case, you want all of your light that goes to the stone reflect back and go back through the table of the stone. And when it goes back right over here, it will meet with the new light that goes into the stone, and when it's meeting with the new light over here, it creates the spark. What's going to happen if you don't have the ideal cut? Let's say you have cut like that, a very wide one. Well, your light gonna go right over here. It will reflect from the side on this side, and it will go through the right side of the stone right over here. The main point is that it's not going to go through the table. It's not going to create this spark over here. When we're talking about the diamonds and the cuts and everything, the prime reason why this cut exists is that the cutter wants to save as much material as possible. When the Morganites are cut, they usually cut when they are mined, and the main objective over there is to cut as much stones as possible in the shortest amount of time. So these guys usually have way less skills to cut these stones properly, so they not really care about how perfect the cut is. And what we do in this case, we prefer to buy raw stones from the suppliers and cut it ourselves. So in this case, we can make sure that the cut of the stone is absolutely perfect from the mathematic point of view. So what we do like to do in ideal situation, we prefer to buy this pink stone. I actually erased it, it was right over here. So we prefer to buy this pink stone that was right over here in a raw format, cut it perfectly, make it in a perfect cut, and then put it in our setting. What you can have on the opposite side, you can have peach color Morganite, not in an ideal cut, so it's not going to spark that much, and it also will be heat treated, which means that it can change its colors down the road in, like, in say 2-3 years. So in my opinion, this price difference is absolutely reasonable. As I mentioned, in this case, you're probably gonna have heat-treated peach stone with not an ideal cut, so it's not going to spark that much. And if you choosing the pink stone in a raw format, and we can cut it in a perfect cut and put it in a setting, that would cost about 1,900, 2,000 or so. I hope you get an idea of what I was trying to say. I know it's a little bit complicated, but you can feel the difference why one choice is much better than the other. I hope by watching this video you got quite a lot of useful information, and now you know much more about the Morganite, and now you know what to choose and why to do so. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Again, my name is Sergey and I'm the owner of NinaVova Custom Jewelry. We made custom engagement rings and wedding bands, and I'll see you next Friday.